Hey guys, welcome back to my channel. Okay, so today I'm gonna do a video that I was inspired by. One of my wonderful friends asked me a question about and had me thinking how to deal with triggers. And I feel like that word in itself has kind of become just used a lot in, I guess, our language. And do we really understand what that means and what that does and how to, how to approach a situation when we are triggered? Now, what does triggered mean? Triggered technically means something, whether it's a smell, a sight, a person, a song, literally any sensory thing that brings you back to a traumatic event. So often people who, there's extremes obviously, often people who suffer from PTSD, that is often a cause from triggers, or anyone who's had a traumatic event or an event in general. Something can trigger and bring you back to that emotional state. That is important to note because now we can tackle what to do when you are triggered. In those moments, first step is to identify that you are triggered, that is not your real emotional reaction. And when I say real emotional reaction, is we have emotions to react to situations that are happening right now. When we are triggered, that emotional reaction is actually from the past and to a situation that's not currently happening. It's a situation that's reminding you of that. So identifying that you're triggered is step number one. So you're able to take a step back, like, okay, this is not real, like it's not really what's happening. I'm just triggered. I'm feeling an emotion from a traumatic event. Two is putting yourself in a place where you feel safe. Being triggered and in a space where you don't really have a sense of security or reassurance is actually like, just enhances that whole experience. It's just not fun. I've been triggered in a mall, in a classroom, on the subway, and it's just not fun. So to be triggered, I would say call up a friend, go home if you can, or there's other ways to kind of ground yourself by yourself without relying on others. These can include like breathing techniques to do grounding, like mindfulness, I guess. I personally, in those moments, like that is just not happening because my mind is like, whoa, like emotional realm. So you got to bring it back to the rational realm. So I often will call someone who can do that for me. If not, I've learned ways to kind of bring myself back down. And that is going back to that situation, not being afraid to face it, and going through these mantras or these facts, like hardcore facts, right? Because facts will fight emotion. Going through facts to why you are going to be okay. So for instance, if it's, I don't want to vape myself out like my triggers. If it's a situation that was traumatic, remind yourself, one, that you got over it and you are getting over it. Two, why you are a little bit further and have grown from that situation. Three, why you should be thankful for that situation, what it's brought you. Like literally facts. You are on the offense right now. You're trying to counter that emotion. So you're in a court of law and you gotta fight. You gotta have a strong case, and we're not gonna let that emotion win. So you gotta fight that fight. So that often helps me, even just writing it in my phone. Like sometimes I just gotta write it down so it becomes real. That helps. Certain music really helps me, like listening to certain songs that really empower me and get me back into that sense of like, okay, like I'm okay, like I'm good, like I'll be okay. That really helps. Certain smells are reassuring. Like I remember when I used to be super triggered, I used to spray my mom's perfume because it just made me feel safe. Like aroma therapy is real. Smells hold so much memory and they can be triggering, but they can also trigger positive memories. So countering a negative with a positive often is very, very efficient. Going for a walk. helps. You know, like now you just gotta walk and let that emotion out, because emotions should never be suppressed. The last thing you want to do when you're triggered is to suppress an emotion, because guess what? It's gonna come out in a different way. Let it out. If you have to cry, cry, but that's it. We're only crying for this amount of time and we're moving on, because we are not living in the past anymore. Honestly, journaling helps me a lot because it allows me to understand my thoughts and why I'm thinking the way I'm thinking. Sometimes you might not even know you're triggered, and if you write things down, you're like, oh wait, like this sounds like how I felt because of this situation. Oh, okay, it's probably because it's reminding me of this situation. And because of that, now you can rewrite that thought in a way that is healthier. And that's a really good journaling technique that I've done, is writing an emotional thought. And you do this in, honestly, in CBT or psychotherapy, where you write a distressing thought or trigger and then another way to think about it. And that really helps. And they're called thought journals, or thought, I think it's thought journals. I'll put a link below. But that really helps, and it's, people do it all the time. So at first you'll be like, this is stupid, like why am I doing this? But if you can replace that memory or that thought with something positive, honestly, you've literally overcome the trigger. So now there's two more, and I think they're kind of similar. I used to be triggered by a certain by places, because it reminded me of a person, smells, or songs. And I was like, yo, I'm not gonna, and I used to take the long way home because I used to not want to walk by a certain place. I used to not listen to certain songs that I loved or watch movies that I loved because it reminded me of a certain person that reminded me of a traumatic event. I feel like I'm talking so fast. The thing is, don't let these triggers have more power than you. You cannot. We are going to reclaim that power. We are going to reclaim things that belong to us. Reclaim your bus route, you know? Reclaim that song that you once loved. Reclaim that smell that you obviously liked to wear at one point. So slowly, exposure, which is often used for people who have PTSD or triggered symptoms, exposure therapy can be very scary. So I would suggest it, like having a professional help you through this, or at the very least someone to kind of help you go through it. But facing that trigger, facing it slowly, very slowly in increments. So I remember I think I like started by like going, I would get off at the bus stop, and then I would like walk one block, and then I'd be like, hey, it's too much, like I'm gonna go the other way. But like I slowly, and now I like literally come home like whichever way, I don't even care, you know. And same with songs, like I slowly started to listen to them, and then it kind of got a little easier, you know. So that was one way to do it. And another way to do it is to replace that trigger or that memory with something positive. So you will reclaim it by redefining it. So going, for instance, to a place that once triggered you and creating a new memory now will allow you to regain that place with a different feeling. So now when you go there, it has a different feeling. Same with smells. Wearing that smell and going somewhere that creates a strong, it has to be strong because it has to overcome, it has to kind of counteract that strong negative memory. You will be able to kind of cancel out that negative memory. So for instance, again, if you wore a certain scent during a negative time in your life, wear that same scent, it's going to be hard, during a very extremely positive time in your life. And those two will cancel. Oh my gosh, I literally have like no battery and no memory. So let's get this finished. Alright, so yeah, so replacing the trigger, reclaiming it. And it'll take time. I think that's the last one. It's gonna take time and it's gonna take work. Honestly, I'm gonna buy like a memory card that's like 10,000 gigabytes because it's too much. Alright, so yeah, it's gonna take time, and my honest like advice is just don't give up on yourself. Like, don't give up on yourself. It's gonna take time, effort, and you can do it. Honestly, you can do it. So thank you for watching, guys. If you guys like this video, don't forget to like and subscribe, and I will see you guys next time. Thank you. Thank you. Come again. Like what? Thank you. Alright, bye guys.